We were in Indianapolis for the NFL Combine earlier this year. Had a chance to, outside of our coverage with the media inside Lucas Oil and Company, we were able to connect with some people close to the scene, Cardinal coaches alike. One of the biggest takeaways we got, how much this team likes Clayton Tune, how much they feel like Clayton Tune has a bright future, Bo, with this team, despite kind of being sacrificed to the Cleveland Browns, took one for the team. But again, like in the battle of Clayton Tune versus Colt McCoy, like Clayton Tune stuck on the roster. Colt McCoy hasn't played an NFL game since. So now we look at this offseason, however, and the Cardinals, they did bring in some competition. They traded away Rondale Moore straight up, the rare player for player trade for Desmond Ridder, the former starter in Atlanta. And I will be the first to admit, based on the comments that I heard, I thought Clayton Tune was going to be the guy for QB2. Now we look at Ridder coming with his pedigree of at least starts in the NFL. He may not have the arm strength of Clayton Tune, but now you look at that quarterback room as a whole. How do you see this transpiring over the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start by saying and echoing what you said and what we've heard from this organization as far as intel goes, that it has a waiver. There's been belief in Clayton Tune since they select him in the 5th round at Houston, and it hasn't wavered since. Like, they like his makeup. That's what we've continually heard. They love his makeup. They think that he's a guy that can be a backup in this league for 10 seasons or more. And, you certainly didn't see that on full display in an historically bad performance and his lone opportunity in the 2023 season against the Cleveland Browns. As he said, he was a bit of a sacrificial lamb in that game, and a tip of the cap for Clayton Tune in playing that role as like the final, gasp to get to Kyler Murray after they traded away Joshua Dobbs. But, they maintained their belief in Clayton Tune. He held the backup quarterback position. Once Kyler Murray came back, they didn't just say, hey, we got to figure this out now that Kyler's back. And we saw what Tune looks like, on the field. He was getting beat up and throwing 2 picks against the Browns defense. They went in the offseason and they liked Clayton Tune and felt like he can make a jump from year 1 to year 2. But with Monty Ossenfort, who's in a different position, and he's always looking to improve this roster, the opportunity presented itself where Atlanta goes out and they throw the bag at Kirk Cousins. And then, we didn't know they were going to trade or select Michael Penix in the top 10, but Desmond Ridder becomes available, and it's only going to cost him somebody who wasn't going to be really a part of this team going forward, and Rondale Moore. So now you got competition in that room. And I think like the people that believed in Clayton Tune, it's going to come down to, okay, what you think is possible when he projects to be to somebody who I think might already be there as a serviceable backup in Desmond Ridder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like Desmond Ridder, to me, if you had to start one game, you're going to play the guy with the experience. You're going to play the guy that has seen it all, done it all, at least in a short period of time, as a presumed starter for the Atlanta Falcons going into last year. Like, he did get replaced, Taylor Heineke. I mean, Desmond was just not a good player last year. Well, he's your guy to go and keep the train on the tracks against the San Francisco, against the Chicago or Green Bay. In a one-off game, if Kyler Murray needs a week, that's who you're going to go with. As a developmental guy, as somebody that you've drafted, that you put time in, that has upside, that can be the future backup indefinitely, because Desmond Ridder, I think he's still on his rookie contract. He's probably going to be a free agent after this year. I'd have to double check. Like, Clayton Tune, they want Clayton Tune a part of this regime as long as they can keep him, assuming he continues to ascend and get better. Whereas I feel like Desmond Ridder is kind of the perfect gaps Band-Aid where you can say, we like Clayton Tune, but in the same realm, we're trying to be a postseason team. And as much as I like Clayton Tune, nobody can say, yeah, he can take care of it behind Kyler Murray. We can give him an opportunity to go out and try to win a game with his arm, with his legs, Colt McCoy-esque like he did for Cliff Kingsbury a couple of years ago. That's not winning football yet. We need to be able to see Clayton Tune a little bit more. Because I'll tell you right now, if Clayton Tune goes out there and lights it up in the preseason, Desmond Ridder is just okay, then it's an easy decision. Hell, they may even opt to release Desmond Ridder. But I think Desmond Ridder is efficient enough in the intermediate passing game, doesn't have a great arm, but somebody that has mobility. Like, say what you want about Desmond Ridder, his game compares more to what Kyler Murray does. I know it's a greater reach than some, but Clayton Tune is not that caliber of athlete. Like Desmond Ritter, high-end athlete at the collegiate level, was part of that undefeated Cincinnati team, has played in a bunch of big games. Like on paper, you can definitely see what they were going for when they shipped Rondell Moore out. It's like, oh, we get a guy who's great in the locker room, winning pedigree, arms okay, not great, but certainly can make intermediate throws and has mobility. It's the perfect complement to Clayton Tune, who does everything else well, who has the big arm talent, who hasn't played a bunch of big-time football. So I like the dynamics of this room. This room, to me, is much more appealing to whatever the hell we were force-fed last year and the year before with the Jeff Driscolls and the Colt McCoys and the Joshua Dobbs. This group, to me, there's tremendous amount of upside past Kyler Murray, which is we haven't been able to say that.
It's going to be key for Clayton Tune to show that he has narrowed that gap between being a 5th-round rookie in 2023 and that he can be a viable backup. Like statistics say that Desmond Ritter could be a viable backup. Like if you think, I mean, Drew Petzing looked like a miracle worker with Joshua Dobbs, who was basically out of this league and was able to put him in a position to win football games. He didn't win a lot. He won one, but he put the offense in spots at times to win games. But Desmond Ritter is 8-9 as a starter in this league. Yeah. Desmond Ritter has, as far as his TD to INT ratio, it's 14-12 right now. So like he's proven, at least at the NFL level, that he can be serviceable in that spot. Clayton Tune, like that, the same can't be said. So like if you're looking and you're looking for a fallback plan for Kyler Murray in 2024, like as it stands right now, the edge belongs to Ritter, but with the opportunity and the belief, and it's in the facility in Tempe, and Clayton Tune, he's got to prove it. And it's exciting. I think that this is, Johnny, going to be one of the better position battles in training camp here for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and we also have to be fair. Like Desmond Ritter played in collectively what is the worst division in the NFL. And yes, he had a bad head coach in Atlanta, Arthur Smith, who was a big-time buffoon, but he was playing against the Carolinas. He was playing against, the Saints, and I like Tampa well enough, but like you got 6 games against a bunch of cupcakes historically. And so like this different aspect, playing AFC West football is big boy football in this division. So we know based on what they've told us, people around the team, Clayton Tune, if he doesn't fall on his face, he's super high level, high character guy. They want him around the team. And listen, like say what you want and go back and watch the tape from last year on this show. He looked infinitely better than Colt McCoy. And I'm hoping that he has had an opportunity over the last calendar year to build off of that because, a lot of reps. He was running with the ones half the time during the preseason, had no business doing that based on the expectation of a quarterback. That's why they traded for Joshua Dobbs. But that experience, I hope he has an opportunity to build off of because that doesn't happen to most 5th-rounders straight out of college, out of Houston, of all places.
Right. Yeah, man, what a difference a year makes. You had Kyler Murray on the shelf rehabbing his knee. Your quarterback room was Colt McCoy, who we have heard from recently, and Donnie Druin packaged it very well, and where he had a conversation, McCoy did, basically saying that his arm never responded from a procedure he had, couldn't throw the football. And, that was your QB1 for the bulk of training camp and preseason for his outright release. And then Clayton Tune, just by being available and since they drafted him and doing everything that was asked of him since, rookie minicamp on, was like kind of your default guy. They wanted him, though, to take grasp of the quarterback 2 role. He did that admirably throughout last season. Now it's time for him to prove himself at this level. And the competition is there. Do we want to get, as we're doing a quarterback room preview, and we could be talking to some people just checking in on that quarterback battle or just taking a glimpse at the Cardinals quarterback room, QB1, and what our expectations are for Kyler Murray in 2024.
I mean, we talk about it seemingly every show, but it bears repeating. Kyler Murray plays a full season. Kyler Murray's a postseason quarterback more often than not. He's making a Pro Bowl. He's giving up bloated big-time statistics for this franchise. Like, I don't have to make a case for that. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Every year he's been healthy. When he's not healthy and he misses time, this team loses games and they're not productive offensively. He came back last year and they were almost a 500 team with one of the worst rosters in the NFL collectively. And so now it's like give him all off season with Drew Petzing, no limitations off that ACL, the perfect amount of time to dip his toe in at the end of 2023. I mean, like, I think Kyler Murray, and I can't predict if somebody's going to stay healthy. All I know is if he's on the field this year, he is putting up historic numbers for the Arizona Cardinal football franchise. The Cardinal football franchise, really dating back to their time in St. Louis. He is efficient. I think he's going to have somewhere in the vicinity of like 68% completion. I think he's going to reach 30 passing touchdowns, adding a couple on the ground. And the Cardinals are going to be a viable team through December and January, whatever that looks like. I think Kyler Murray has a career year for this team.
I'm seeing some great next level, statistics, analytics. We harped on the guy in Warren Sharp last year because for his atrocious offensive line rankings, but came out with a percentage of third down incompletions, which were due to receiver error last year. And first in that group was Joe Burrow. 28% of incompletions on third down were due to a wide receiver issue, error, wrong route run, whatever it may be. But it wasn't really on the fault of the quarterback. Kyler Murray was next in line there at 27%. 27% of his incompletions on third down where they couldn't move the change was due to a wide receiver error. You also couple in where 28% of Kyler Murray's incompletions from his time last year, only 28% of them were due to his own inaccuracies.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a revamped playmaking group where, the huge addition of Marvin Harrison Jr., the developed rapport with Michael Wilson, who now most publications are playing catch up on and realizing he's going to be a breakout candidate. Greg Dortch, who was probably the only reliable guy during all those, where we saw those poor statistics, on any down and where the wide receiver group fell short last year. And then Trey McBride, and then Kyler Murray just having a better rapport with everybody and more, I guess, comfort in this system. I think that you're just going to see those numbers decrease and see a more accurate in rhythm passer in Kyler Murray in 2024.